meet up with the youngster. Well, he's a teenager today, and I'm talking about Michael Jackson's child, Prince Michael Jackson. First of all, give me your thoughts on him.
Well, I first met him during Michael Jackson's criminal trial. He was a young child. I used to go to Neverland before the trial and a few times during it, and I had a very, very unique opportunity to watch Michael with his children. And it was very clear to me that his children were number one in his life. There's no question about it. And even though he was trying to shield them from that dreadful experience he was going through, it was obvious to me that they sensed something was going on with their father. And after the day of the acquittals, I went to Neverland, and I was invited to a world press conference, and I decided not to go. I felt I really belonged at Neverland with Michael. And I went to Neverland, was in his house, and I saw his children just hovering all over him. And he told them, who I was, and they came over, and each one gave me a hug. And it was a very unique day. I've always had the very, very strong belief, based on my observations and my feelings about Michael, that he was the greatest father that ever lived. He lived for his children. He wanted them to be protected from any possibility of danger or kidnapping or anything like that. He did the very best he could have done. He wanted them highly educated. He made sure they were well-read, that they understood that he had an enormous book collection. He wanted them to know about every subject. He took them around the world to expose them to other cultures. He wanted them to be very, I got a lump in my throat. He wanted them to be very accepting of all ethnic groups, religious groups, races, cultures. He wanted them to be humane and kind and sincere like he was. And my impression of his children, not just, one or two or all three, my impression was that they had the greatest father on the planet, sensitive, kind, honorable. He disciplined them as well. He was not going to let them just run amok, but he wanted them to appreciate the world as it is, to be aware of its dangers, and to be very well-read and well-educated. He did the very best he could do, given the pressures on him, and he was a wonderful father, and I think those children are just fabulous.
If somehow Prince is listening right now, what would you say to him?
I would tell him that he had the most wonderful father on the planet. Not only was a gift to the world, a unique genius, a creative spirit that we've never seen before and probably will never see since, someone who took all of his gifts creatively and financially, and rather than being selfish, wanted to heal the world and change the world in a very positive way. And he did the very best that he could do, given the pressures inflicted on him from an early age, to heal the planet, focus on equality, love, kindness, decency. He really wanted to focus the world on its children, how helpless and vulnerable they are, how much they need love and attention and spirit and a feeling of importance. And I would tell him that you have the best father on the planet, and remember who he was, follow his guidance and inspiration. Don't let these negative people who tried to pull him down influence you at all. And I would say carry forward and live his legacy, but be you at all times. Don't feel enormous pressure. Just be you and do the best you can, just like he did.